children crying for starvation just to smoke. You want to get a news update, my brother?
When I look at the God, when we're supposed to have come, at the very day was from the Secret Service called and said we shouldn't go. When I had to speak to the sitting there in the Nigerians there, the minister of education was already there. You can thank God and have an understanding that we're just men, all the things that we do, the great thing we're fighting, can be wiped out in. I mean, when I look at the houses necessary, but even the streets, how they are pumped. They had to use donkeys to go to labor, goods and services to that great country that has everything. We should thank God for what we enjoy here in Liberia, in the midst of all of our problems and the poverty. I mean, the difficulty that God has favored us. My only concern always has been that we take too many things for granted. For a number of years, we don't have roads, but we don't care. For a number of years, no educational system, but we don't care. But we take so much delight in other countries. One who enjoy life in other countries. Let me tell everybody here, and I'm telling you honestly, it had never been my desire to fight president for this. But my desire has always been that this country will be a country well respected. I don't even think about myself. It's not about presidency. It's about a country that's so blessed that would treat us so lightly. And you can see when team work together. From the time I've been going to the States, where as president, the Secret Service that worked with me, this is the best team we have ever had. I mean, the commitment of these people, not speaking to you, just doing their work, from taking us through the halls of the UN, going through the traffic there, trying to avoid violating the rules, and up to the point when we drove, because most people were saying we didn't go by road to Providence. How those people were so organized. We went by road, it was like the group ahead of us is informed. We get there, they change the vehicle, and we move. I mean, I have always been someone who believes in organization, in things working. I say to say, and you're not giving these people anything. You give them money, they don't take it. But they are committed up to the time that we came back to I mean, everywhere you go, that's the kind of commitment that we lack. Everybody fighting. Let me let you know, I had always come to respect people, and I always said that even the person who cleaned the bathroom for me, I respect them. God cannot even make everybody, if everybody was equal or put in the same, that's not who will serve whom. But that's what the Bible says. Whatever we do, let's do it as if we're doing it for God. I always say, take women, for example, you travel a long distance. All of you travel, you're hungry. But by the time you get there, you're fixing food. Not that they are not hungry. It's responsibility. Something that we lack here. Everybody fight. And I can tell you, when the time comes, God will give you what you want. I don't have to tell you about myself. So I want to thank all of you here who are coming. There are a lot of you here who are working. Some of you haven't even been paid. But it's for the country. And we appreciate all of you. I appreciate people who love their country, who work for their country. This trip that we made, it was a trip. Why do you think I've left for me alone? I wouldn't even leave this country. I didn't even go to my farm. But if people are honest to know the situation this country is in this sub-region, we'll work much harder. Because 177 years, you don't have road, our people of country can't have drinking water, the cities are not laid up. And you don't understand the difficulty in that. Not that people are lazy. The women are FOIA the other day. Every day they're calling for help. I said, but every time we help you, say, we grow rice, but we can't sell it. The rice is there. You don't understand the difficulty when a country is not structured properly. You think it's simple. You think that people are lazy, but they produce, they can't sell because the system is not in place. When we used to have cooperative, people produce. When I was at LPNC, they will bring the right to buy, they go and produce. It's not in place. And most of us don't understand. Even most of us believe that because we in Monrovia with right car, that's not life. Life goes beyond just yourself. And that's a commitment that we bring to the job. And that's what I'm stuck in this. This is not the talking point, but these are things that come to my mind. I'm telling you honestly, I can ride wheelbarrow to go to that mansion. I don't care. But this country, we must build it ourselves. You come from one part of the world, everything is in place. You come to another part, everything is out of place. And people don't care. One go here, one go there, one go. And this country can even be better than those places because what is it? You live in a nice house, a clean environment, you have road, you have drinking water, you can just turn it on. That will keep you over there. That was some of the people that want to be over there, they want to be here. They want to come home for job here and do it. You got to be there or be here. Let's struggle and build this. And so I want to thank all of us. Like the Bible says, like this mind being you. It was in Christ Jesus. That's the commitment I have. I don't have to be here. I can live without this. We made this trip. We left here. I'm glad that we are back. We went to attend investment forum in Canada. And I think the advantage of doing that is that we used to have an embassy in Canada. The ambassador there, Phoenician, I used to live right here. Canada is a very powerful country. We have a lot of Liberians there, about 30,000 without representation. And when you live in a country without representation, it means that anything can happen to you. You don't have anywhere to go. But also opportunities there. We went there and we found out that there were people there who have been yearning for this. We had very good meetings, a very good contact, made several appeals for help for our country. In Canada, we asked for investment. That's what we need in this country. I think sometimes I wonder whether people really know the degree to which our people have been suffering. From the time coup took place in 1980, it began to marginalize people. Then the war moved people. Simply because we're sitting around here, there are people hurting in this country. People who lost their parents. They don't have any future. And people say, sometimes we say that people can beg. They beg because nowhere to turn. When we were growing up in this country, I came from nowhere, but you could get no job to do something. Today, nothing. People are just, more and more people have been left behind. They're trying to draw because they left them with parents, they need parents, with family members who don't have the time themselves, they don't have the resources, so they take to the streets. That's the commitment we have. Those are the people we're talking about. And so we go around looking for jobs. It would take a long time to bring this country to the level where people have hope in it. And that's why we're going. I always say the thing that's chasing you, if it doesn't stop running, you can't stop running. Our country isn't proud. Plenty children. At the UN, we have to speak on street children, we have to speak on the youth, we have to speak to people to listen. People who have and have the possibility to help, but they're not going to help if we don't strengthen our country, if we don't become responsible. I take an example of JFK. When we took over, the doctors, when they prescribe, they send you to a drugstore. And then recently, when we put a bank in there, and a clinic, a drug, drugstore, so that people now will prescribe to go take the pill and go buy them. Sometimes we don't care, we don't go around. But when God gave you an opportunity, He gave it to you for you to use it to better other people's condition. And so at the UN we spoke. And myself, I was to an extent proud to speak because it was a balanced speech. You heard some speakers when they spoke for countries, like when I listened to the president of Turkey, all you were bouncing on the Israeli war. But yes, the Israeli war is there, but we were turning all around the points, things that are affecting not just Liberia. And we thank God for that. The speech there is 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, they start cutting you off. But I don't know how we managed. I think for just 15 minutes, they didn't cut us off and watch. And again, part of it also is to boost the private sector. No matter what we do in this country, the government cannot absorb. If the government employ everybody, then there won't be a country. Who will pay it? Where the money will come from? That's why we go around appealing to people. I don't care where you feel like, what side you own, this country is in trouble. For the last couple of years, there have been no investment, but there have people who have not worked. Some of them are in offices, they're not working. And the pride of life is not just to even give you money, but to work. You go to school to learn so you can use the education. There's no opportunity to do it. Of course, when people tell you sit here and we give $5 every month, you'll be happy. But it doesn't bring you up. What did you go to school for? And those are things that we're moving around to do. So we're able to talk with the private sector. And besides that, at the United Nations, we inform them about the progress we are making. It might be slow. You will not see it, but things are improving. Some of the things are improving. So we have to report about what we're doing, how we help to improve situation, to encourage the people, because people get tired of you, that you going through the same circle. I mean, your life can improve, they help you. Let me tell you, I don't care what you do in your world, you will always have money coming to this country. But we don't need money for development. If you money to keep you alive, like great lady in you. But I will take care of your children, that will send them to school, won't do it. We have to have investment. We have to be able to build the capacity of our people to produce, to have that dignity. You don't always want to be a beggar. And so we did a bet because we will be realizing economic growth. We have to be committed to work. Some people here are not looking for a job, actually, they're looking for payroll. They just say, thank God I'm on payroll. But that payroll you on, where the money gonna come? You gotta learn to work. So at the UN, we're able to meet one-on-one, the Secretary General. But what really I'm very proud of, and I want to thank Madam Shirley, but our presence there to help with our day.
Politicians want to make their decision just to postpone. You want to know what happening in the ministry to postpone. Yeah, to postpone.
Oh, yes, you want to know what's happening in the ministries, in the agencies, tuned to Spoon. This is where you get the news. I'd like to welcome everyone to the late night show tonight, the late night politics on Spoon. This is where we talk Liberia. We bring you the updates, critical analysis from our diverse panel here every night. And we afford you the opportunity to have your say on those different issues unfolding across the country as well. I'd like to say welcome to everyone tonight. Thanks for joining us. My name is Nelson Colette. The rest of the team is going to come on, and I want to welcome everyone already engaging in the comment section. All of you joining us from across the internet tonight. We are live on Facebook, Spoon TV, Fiber TV, Super TV. We're live on YouTube as well. Our YouTube handle is Spoon Talk Live. Many thanks to the thousands of you joining us via your radio tonight on Spoon FM 107.5, Fabric Radio 101.1, and of course other affiliate stations across Liberia, Premier FM, Trust FM, Trend Radio, Radio Yalaman, and all of those other stations across the country. Thanks for joining us tonight. Let me recognize a few of you in the comment section. A lot is happening across Liberia. We're going to have a spirited conversation here tonight. But just before moving to that, I want to recognize Alice Band. Thanks for joining us tonight. Alex Dolo has joined us as well. I see Bernard Davis is here. Bernard Davis, thanks for joining us. Vafi Ducle has joined us as well. Edward Crusoe, our dear sister Lavette Bondo. Dear brother, Tommy Jr. is here tonight. Mr. McGill, Eric McGill from Atlanta, Georgia is here. Thanks for joining us. I see Joseph Colley, Tommy Nosibi, Nosibi. Yeah, I hope I got that name right. Wayne Plummer, thanks for joining us. James Cannon, I see Bobby Valentino is here tonight as well. Adam Buakai, Adam Abuakai Sharif has joined us. Thanks for coming on tonight, Tommy. We appreciate every single person for being on here tonight. Please share the program as you come on. Kindly share the show. Let's have a great conversation here tonight. Peter Koye, John Oberly, Vavi Ducle. I see DJ Du is here tonight. Jerry Gitawe has joined us. George Good is here as well. Peter Koye. Yes, everyone coming on tonight. Nathaniel K. Hill, Gosson, Ken as well is joining us tonight. Yes, kindly share the program as you come on. Let's have a great conversation tonight. Yeah, so folks, thanks for joining us tonight. Let's hope we can have a great show. We are shortly going to move on to bring you the updates. Let me bring Raymond in tonight. Raymond, thanks for joining us, man. It's good to have you on.
Thank you
Raymond,
so much
are you with us?
for having me. As always, it's a pleasure being here, and I'd like to greet all the audience everywhere in the world who's listening and tuning. And thank you for all that you do too, Nelson. Make sure that we are all informed and bring up the issue for discussions.
Hmm. Okay, so thanks again, Raymond, for being on here tonight. And we can always talk about the issues. We can always push for a better Liberia and making sure that we live up to what we've committed ourselves to. Again, welcome to everyone. Let's move to the updates. A whole lot is happening across Liberia, and we are here tonight to provide those updates. Again, I want to ask everyone as you come on, please share the program. Let's hope we can have a great conversation, a great interaction here tonight. Share the program. All right. So, Raymond, again, we want to say thanks for joining us. As you know, so many things are happening across the country. Let me just throw in weigh in on a few of the happenings, and then we're gonna move into the conversation tonight with the limited time we have to be here. Now, it's no secret. A lot of you are aware that the Commerce Minister has resigned. The letter of resignation surfaced in the media this morning, and since then, there has been conversation around the country relative to the resignation of the Commerce Minister, Minister Ami Moda, and we are going to have some conversations around that. Liberians have been expressing their views on those issues as well. Some say it's the best thing, he did the right thing. Some think he was pressured to do so. A lot of people are hailing the president for what we've seen so far, because they think that it was triggered by some internal actions, while others think that the former commerce minister served his country very well and he's honorably resigned his post as Minister of Commerce of the Republic of Liberia. Lots of conversation we're going to have, make some critical analysis around this. But this is all happening following report of the Commerce Minister, Ami Moda scrutiny over some over the purchase of 96,000 USD worth of vehicle, an SUV, luxury SUV, and a lot of people raised concerns about that. This network broke the news, and it's been going on that way. On the flip side, the president is hosting a very important cabinet, uh, you know, uh, retreat, if you want to put it that way. And he's having conversation with his officials across the different branches, ministries, and agencies across the country. Today, the president, following the retreat, uh, or during the retreat, discussed with his officials. And key amongst the many things the president said was his fight against corruption, that he remains committed to the fight against corruption. He remains committed to the government taking on the fight seriously, that those who want to stay in government should be willing to help. To put their one to two to help to help him succeed in the fight against corruption. And he went on to emphasize the issue of asset declaration. I think we had this conversation lengthily last evening, talking about asset declaration, the different aspects of it, why it's important for a government like the Unity Party administration that came to rescue, and and the whole idea of some people being in government and not declaring the asset up to now. LECC even going to the extent of um, sending a caveat, threatening to withhold the salaries of some of the officials of this administration. Well, the president was very concerned about asset declaration as well today. He reaffirmed his commitment to the fight against corruption and urged his officials of government to declare their their assets. He said, "Yes, a lot of you have crossed the deadline. The deadline, you've crossed it. Most of you did not declare before coming in government, and you're in government. You serve for X amount of months. You haven't still declared your asset, but this is something that is required by law." And so he sent the warning out to his officials to declare the assets today. But Raymond, and this is a very important conversation. This is like an update to what we discussed yesterday, and stuff like that, and so yes, the president is urging those people to declare their assets. But is this new? Is this something strange? Are we seeing a repeat of some of the things we saw in the past? Now, I remember when former President George Weah was president of the Republic of Liberia, there was a similar situation where some of the officials of his government were refusing or dragging their feet to declare their asset. And President Weah, at some point, sent a warning. He warned those officials that they should follow his example and declare their asset. So now just seeing President Boakai today, so many years after, sending similar warning that former President George Weah sent out, does this say anything about how we Liberians think and how we approach this issue about compliance with the legal procedures when it comes to certain things, especially entering into government? Could we have learned something from the previous administration? Was there a better way that we could have done it to avoid getting at this particular point? It's like being in a cycle, Raymond. We were here about 6 years ago, and then after 6 years, we come and see ourselves in that same cycle, repeating the same thing we did about 6 years ago. And the president now is telling his officials to declare their assets, warning those people to declare their assets, just like former President George Weah did in the past administration. Do we really need asset declaration in the first place? Is it rational? Is it logical that we get to that point where we say, no, let's get rid of this whole asset declaration thing because we're not living by it? Maybe it's difficult for us to do. And, the president is speaking on this issue.
So Nelson, as per
So,
yeah,
yeah.
so
So,
as per
Raymond, let me just give it over to you and do your opening, and then we can start the show officially. Just do your opening, Raymond.
so again, I'd like to welcome all of our audience, and of course you, Nelson, for having this show running. You come here daily; it takes a lot, even for us, the panelists that come in sometimes. But you are here always, and our audience are always here. But concerning the issues that are obtained today, specifically the resignation of Ami Moda, the president's meeting with his cabinet, and even urging them to declare their asset and be in line with that of the LSCC guidelines or deadlines, is something welcoming because Nelson, we all know what the issues of corruption and bad governance have done to our country. I always say this, and it sounds like a recitation. Considering the amount of wealth we have in terms of natural resources, a small country that's just about under 6 million people, we got diamonds, we got gold, we got iron ore that have been mining since before you and I ever arrived on this earth. We got timber, we got our marine species, and even a lot more on a mention. But yet,
We can't even afford $4 billion to pave our roads. Our road network have never exceeded 25% of our entire road network being paved ever in our country. So we're left with earth roads. When the rain fall badly, we don't have pliable roads anymore because earth, when rain falls in earth, it gets saturated, it turns into mud. And heavy vehicles come and plow it, it's dirty mud. So there's the need for us to have an open government that is accountable to the dollar that the Liberian people earn either through revenue or through tax paying, whatever true means. So asset declaration remains a tool for check and accountability to show transparency in government and a form of open governance so we can know what our elected and appointed officials come to government with. So when they're leaving, it's easy able to check against that and see what they have about what they got paid over the period of time and see whether it's a reasonable accumulation of wealth or it's out of corruption, because corruption is a problem. Corruption is the reason why they're in drugs at the hospitals. Why we don't have enough health facilities to cater to our people. Why our school system so poor. Some of us got formal education, but sometimes to back it up, it become an issue. Sometimes we got opportunities, but we can't utilize it because our foundation is so broken. And if we have to change all of that, we have to be serious about tackling corruption or the fight against corruption. And asset declaration is a good start. So it cannot be under-emphasized or more emphasized. It just has, it's a thing. We got to do it. But my question is, why do we have so many persons having declared their asset? And for me, when you have a problem, instead of just putting a black brush on the problem and call it a problem, it needs a little deep search, deep digging. So I will urge the president as well as the LDCC to look into the reasons why too many persons across the three branch of government haven't declared their assets. And if that requires some form of fixing, let's do it and let's govern.
Thank you, Raymond. Francis, welcome to the show, man. It's good to have you on tonight. Let's hear you do your opening as we guest said to officially start the show.
Yeah, thank you, Nancy and Raymond. Good to see you, bro. Good morning to our folks in Liberia. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. There's always something new in Liberia, to take on the airway. The biggest topic today is modern resignation and things like that. The president keep looking for new ways to prove his ineffectiveness because his indecisiveness. He cannot make decision. Nothing. People have to make a decision for him. That's why I'm getting from the whole thing that the president is doing. People have to make decision for him. Because Moda made a decision for him. I don't know what people will say behind the scene until the president can come and sit there and say something. But people will say, "Oh, he called Moda. I probably told him, give me your resignation." Moda did not resign. He will be current minister today. Because when it comes to investment, right? They say you can't use past history to determine future performance of a stock of an investment. But when it comes to leadership, you can look at past. You can look at the past to sometimes determine or predict what the future will be. Currently, there are so many decisions that the president has not made. It doesn't seem like he wants to make those decisions. Common example, we still go out to Grisby. Where the fire car they spend $500,000 on our Oma and Papine that have been working since Charlie Quintan, they're not getting no social security, but you can take $500,000 for you to buy a car for inauguration. You can't even see the car. President Boga say, okay, he approved of Grisby's decision because he's not taking action on it. He approved it. He said drugs were probably number one. He suspended the top 3 people for I don't know how many months now. Report after investigation on his death, he can't make no decision. He can't make no decision on it. Moda didn't stop. Now he couldn't make any decision on it. Moda said, "Let me just resign." Is he going to investigate the LRA director too? No, he will not do anything like that. Until somebody push, and something happens. He don't make a decision. They talk about asset recovery in that video. Talk about not asset recovery rather. We got asset recovery thing about a little now.
Okay, so thank you, Francis. These are just the opening. We're gonna move into the conversations tonight.
No, just 10 seconds, man. The whole asset declaration. That the easiest decision the president can ever make by saying if you don't declare
and that's what we're coming to.
Let's go ahead.
Yeah. But again, I want to welcome everyone. Please share the program as you come on tonight. Share the show in your different group chats, in your WhatsApp groups. Let's have a great conversation tonight with the many things happening across the country. Too many things happening across Liberia. Let's have a great show. Now, I want to start this conversation by going back a little. Last evening we had a lengthy conversation around this. Today, talking about asset declaration. Today, the president is engaging with members of the cabinet, his representatives, his eyes across government, across the different ministries and agencies. And the president is firm. He's keen on this. The president today was telling his officials that, look, every single one of you have to declare your asset. No, listen, he started with the fight against corruption. And he went on to say that it's either you're in to help the government succeed in the fight against corruption, or you're out. On day one of this cabinet engagement, the president was telling his officials that, like he said yesterday, and he's saying today, he remains committed in the fight against corruption. And he was saying that the reason why this government is going to remain consistent in the fight against corruption is because that fight plays a critical role in the progress of the country. And there's a need for transparency across government. And in order to do so, people will firstly have to be corruption-free, then transparency will be practiced. So he called on officials of government to be compliant, to be open, and to take on this fight as he, the president, is taking it. The fight against corruption. The president made those comments on the VOA when he appeared. And most times we play that particular interview. And he went on to re-emphasize today that he doesn't care to know what whoever would think, but he's intentional about the fight against corruption. And that all the officials who want to remain in should take the fight seriously. Look, he didn't stop there. The president did not stop there. Since he was talking about the fight against corruption, he now went across the table, across the room, to speak to each member of his cabinet, especially the people who have not declared their asset. And he was telling the folks that you guys are bringing shame and disgrace. You have to declare your asset. I mean, Raymond, Francis, just taking into consideration day one of this engagement. Tomorrow is going to be another engagement as well. The president and the ministers, the officials of government, they're going to be there again at the ministerial complex, discussing the way forward. All these things are happening in 8 to 9 months of this administration. I want to start with you, Raymond. Is there any hope? Is there any assurance that Liberians are about to see something new? Now, the president traveled. He was away. And while the president was away, a lot of people felt that, yes, things was going the way it went, and lots of noise in the country because the president was away. But he's back. And he returned with a cabinet engagement. Not just that, the Commerce Minister resigned. We're going to talk about that on the flip side of the conversation tonight. But just the engagement about corruption today. Let's get your take on this issue, Raymond, and then
So Nelson, my honest opinion about happiness in Liberia is that we are getting there. And to be quite honest with you, I didn't expect in 9 months a complete turnaround of things in the country. For me to expect that would mean I'm unrealistic.
Mhm.
Because when you look at issues of corruption in our country, it's not only in government, it's within the church, it's within the family, it's everywhere in society. And who are those individuals in society who are extremely corrupt? Liberians. Corruption in the Liberian community in America is prevalent. Liberians cheating one another. There was a pyramid scheme in the country where we say there's law abiding. We tremble not to get afraid with the law. Liberians in the country are committing crimes for the sake of money. So we are no exception of the people back home. If we're that corrupt in our minds, we can even put up a spin on things just to win an argument or to present ourselves more knowledgeable about things. That's the mind of a corrupt person. So the fight against corruption is going to be a fierce fight. And corruption is going to fight back. Because those who benefit from
Raymond, given what we've seen in about 8 to 9 months now, what can you say about this president?
and that's where I'm going. That's where I'm going.
his drive towards the fight against corruption.
And that's where I'm
Can he win this fight? Can he make progress? Can he leave a mark that
there's progress being
when
made
he's out today or tomorrow, people will look back and say President Boakai was here.
There's progress being made thus far. But it takes an appreciable mind, an eye that appreciates to see the progress. Look, expectation causes frustration or appreciation. If your expectation is larger than life, nothing's good enough. But if your expectation is as humble as the ground, anything that springs out of the ground is beautiful. So it's about what your expectations are. To this extent, that we have a level of open governance, a government where Liberians can discuss the happenings today in our country, where we can hold our government accountable, and the government speaks back to us in ways and fashion about what we're discussing. The transparency level in government, that the spoon talk can talk on issues, and instead of shutting down the spoon talk, government officials come and call on the spoon talk immediately and respond to those issues. That's transparency. That's a level of progress against corruption. I mean, Moda, when Stanton brought up the issue about his car, the same evening call. The very next day, we saw LRA response to that. Today, we see Amu Moda have resigned. That's an effort against corruption. In the past, Ellen said they were the noisy minority. George Weah said they were enemy of the state. Today, Boakai said, I will listen to my critics. That's progress. But if we're waiting to see everyone who's corrupt in jail because of corruption, that's unrealistic because it doesn't happen like that. If we're looking to see that everybody in there being indicted by the audit report should have gone through the courts by now, that's unrealistic. That can't happen. Not in the real world. If we're looking to see that there will be no corruption in government any way or any fashion, that's unrealistic. And that's when I'm going to say, to what extent are we corrupt? And I'm not leaving no Liberian out of it. No Liberian out of it. To an extent, we cover up for our friends. To our extent, sometimes even our sentiments become a fight to us. If you're that dishonest when you don't know the fights and your sentiments become the fights to you, that's corruption. That's falsehood. That's spinning the narrative to suit a certain interest. Those who corrupt money, they corrupt for their own self-benefits. That's a level of corruption. Until we are earnest, bluntly earnest, until we are all together with a good purpose, a good motive, then the fight against corruption can be appreciable as we want it. But it's going to take
Okay,
a fight. It's going to take some miles. It's going to take some time. But I
no,
think the
no, no,
fight has begun. And we can
no, no.
all urge the presidency and President Bouaka to do more. But I think he
Okay,
has
so
stopped.
let's hear from Francis a bit on this issue, the fight against corruption, the pronouncement from the president today. We're going to come back to the asset declaration aspect, the caveat he's sending out to his officials. But let's talk about the fight. Everything he's saying now, re-emphasizing this position he had yesterday. He's reinforcing this whole conversation about the fight against corruption, you know, and again, selling this idea to members of his cabinet that the only way the country can succeed, the only way Liberia will be better is when the fight against corruption is taken up seriously by every single member of the cabinet. Francis, what do you make of this? The first day of this engagement with the cabinet, the president is saying this. What do you foresee? What does this say about the fight? Should Liberians in any way be hopeful that we're about to see a shift with respect to how governments in our country fight corruption?
Nelson, before going, let me just address the 15 my brother Ramon said. He said, Liberia, America are corrupt, these are all blah, blah, blah. But that's true. There's corruption everywhere. There's criminals everywhere. But the difference between Liberia and America is that when they catch you, you go in somewhere. They catch you, you pay for your crime. You corrupt, they catch you, you pay for it. So that one, there's no question there. That comparison doesn't work. Then he also mentioned that, if your expectation is too high, nothing is good enough for you. So you should set low expectations so that something can be good enough for you. That's also a bad thing to tell our people. They say if you set a goal, if you want to be successful in life, set a goal so high that even when you miss that target, you lay in the middle, you achieve something. But if you set a goal so low, and you achieve that goal, you accomplish nothing. So if you tell the Liberian people to set their expectations so low that any little thing will impress them, that's a problem. That is a problem. And that's the reason why today's, you talk about there's achievement. That means so many people said today, say, some people actually feeling bad for Ami Moda losing his, resigning. Some people in Liberia feel bad when the criminals there in government resign from positions because the expectation is so low in Liberia. No, we're not telling our people that set the expectation so high. But even if you don't achieve it, even if you achieve it halfway, it will be leaps and bounds. But let's come to the cabinet retreat. Where you talk about the president come out again telling the people they're making him sheen. That's what we call lack of leadership right there. Lack of leadership. From the beginning of the inauguration, even on VOA that you mentioned, that VOA interview, he talked about asset declaration. I'm coming over here. Now, before inauguration, I'm coming over here. No friendship business. This time, I want to Liberian people to prosper. You corrupt. All the good stuff that we wanted to hear. And now, after election, he didn't have to say those things. He was not campaigning anymore when he went on VOA. He had already won the election. But he said those things anyway. But then, he came into office. He declared his asset. He published it. People can argue that it was down the line, whatever, but it was way sooner than George Weah did. So give him credit for that. But then the ANCC came up months ago and talked about over 1,000 plus people at the time had not declared an asset yet. Then months later, again, about 800 plus people. Then you come to cabinet retreat and say the people making you shame. I'll keep saying it, that's the easiest decision this president could have ever made by saying.
But Francis, the fight against corruption, from the look of things, we've seen the president speak about this with passion. Is there any hope that this country called Liberia will see some progress with respect to how governments fight corruption?
Man, even the Bible says faith without action is dead. You can say I have faith that let me say that I have faith Liberia will be developed tomorrow, but don't do any work. Liberia will not be developed. So you talk about spoke with passion. Okay, What if 5 cars they borrowed the 500,000 for inauguration? We don't know, but he knows that 5 cars are not available, but it's paid 500, greater to 500,000 for no car. Where are they? When you talk about eliminate corruption, these are the things that in the open that you're supposed to start attacking first.
Yeah, so it's alleged that the minister took money from NASCAR, not NOCAR.
NASCAR, right? I'm sorry. Thanks for the correction. NASCAR.
Again, Francis, from what we've seen so far, 8 months into the administration now, the president is still talking about the fight against corruption. Do we see any signs of this fight making any impact? Do we see any signs of the president making some impact?
I still want to believe, right? And the only reason I still want to believe is because I always want our leaders to be successful, because when they are successful in doing the right thing, the people enjoy. That's the only reason I want to believe. But if we're looking at what we have seen so far, what he has done so far, I don't see any hope. I don't have any hope if we are going based on what he has done so far. But I'm still hopeful that maybe God will be intervening like the way he interviewed Moda to resign, because President Bogga not going to fire him. So maybe God keep coming to the corrupt people there, the criminal, but also to God should probably come to them to investigate them. Not because somebody resign, so he just say let it go. No, if somebody resign, still investigate. If there's any smoke there, let's see what's behind it. Because if people say the president do nothing, when you see that resign, he will leave you, then we're in big trouble again. So the people should continue to investigate. He should investigate Moda. But probably he's gonna let Moda go because there's probably something bigger that Moda probably resigned because he didn't want something bigger to come up. But President Bogga is never gonna fire him. There's no evidence that he's been decisive.
Thank you. I want to come back to you, Raymond. When the president talked about asset declaration, sending a caveat to his officials to declare the asset. He said, though the deadline has passed, but if we come to this thing with transparency, if we must operate a transparent government, then there's a need for all of you officials to declare your asset. Is it a sign of progress that the president is talking about asset declaration again? Now, so because if you want to go back a little, even before the president's departure from the country, before he went for the UNGA and the China-Indonesia trip and all of that, there was another engagement where he talked about asset declaration as well. Are the people in government giving the president a hard time on this whole asset declaration thing? Raymond, from the look of things, do we really need this asset declaration issue in our country?
So Nelson,
previous administration has some issues with it. The former president raised concern. He sent similar warning to his officials. About 6 years after, we're coming back to the same place where we were.
So Nelson, for 177 years, our country, Liberia, I'm not proud for what Liberia is, because Liberia could be far better than what she is in every form and shape. So if we have to improve Liberia, we got to find ways to make things better. So yes, the fight against corruption has to be a very serious fight. And asset declaration aids in the fight against corruption. Because when we know what our appointed and elected officials has before coming to government, we're able to use that as a benchmark to measure what they have after leaving government. And we're able to track corruption in a way, in a manner, with the aid of all of the others and other investigation that can go on. So yes, it's quite important. And we cannot say in any way for the president to influence, to request, and keep reminding the people to declare their assets. It's a form, and it demonstrates good leadership. That's what a leader should be, influence change. But a lot of us think leadership is an iron fix. Look, if you cannot influence 25% of your people That requires a deep search. Look in. The executive, only 25% of the members of the executive have declared their assets. An indicator why, if the president fire all of them and replace them with another set of people, all of them won't declare their asset in the same time. We can use that to measure what those who elected in the House of Legislature, elected by their people, the president don't have powers over them. 25.8% of them declare their asset. The judiciary that this president did not put in, only 8.7% of them have declared their asset up to this time. It tells you across government is an issue. And it demonstrates the Liberian behavior or response to asset declaration. And for me, that's when a deeper investigation needs to take place. Another investigation to punish, because it has demonstrated that's the response of the average Liberian. That's how we do statistics. We take a sample size. We analyze the number, the behavior within that frame. And then you take it from the executive, it's about 25%. 0.1. You go to the legislature, it's about 25%. 0.1. You go to the judiciary, it's 8.7. If you do the average, it's less than 20%. So my point here is we have to find a way to make it work. And sometimes we think harsh punishment is the response, but human science have found out that no, harsh punishment do not resolve everything. So what the president needs to do is what he has done. And for me, they need to take a step further. Why is it that people haven't declared their asset? What is it? We need to investigate and see what are the issues.
Does this add, is this going to add any weight to this whole call for asset declaration? Yes, we know the LCC has been raising concerns, but the fact that the president today at this cabinet meeting reinforced that particular point, re-emphasized the need for his officials to declare the asset. Is this going to add any weight to the level of this call that we've seen from the LCC over the time? Do you foresee officials of government trooping in at the LCC and then trying to be in compliance with the code of conduct, something they should have done?
Nelson, that's what a leader should do: influence change, communicate the change. And change is a gradual thing, it's never an overnight thing. Usually when change is an overnight thing, it usually it's not a genuine change. Usually genuine change take time. But that doesn't mean efforts and fight should not be put in. But let me just correct my brother on one thing before I turn over. My brother said I asked the Liberian people to have low expectation. No. The statement I made, I say your expectation should be as low as the ground. It's a figurative statement. We humans, from biblical story, were made out of the earth. So when you tell people to be humble, it's almost like be yourself, because you come from the earth, you come from the dirt. So the dirt you come from. So the ground is a measurement of human quality, of human status. And realistic, what I was talking about is realistic expectation. And when you have realistic expectation, you are able to put your resources to what you're able to achieve. And you're not going to spread your resources thin, then you become a failure, then you become frustrated, you become angry, you're not able to cope with what you had. There are many persons who have started projects that they can't complete because they have unrealistic expectation. That's why the acronym SMART comes from. You have realistic expectation. And that's a big conversation in being successful in planning, to have realistic expectation, not be overzealous. So when I'm asking Liberian people to see between the lines and realize what we're able to achieve in the immediate, in the medium term, and in the long term, and don't put long-term goals for immediate term goals. And that's all I'm asking. That's being realistic.
Thank you, Raymond. Francis, let's say I'll take on the president's call and the caveat to his officials for the asset declaration. He said, though the time has passed, but we need you to declare. We need you to set the example. If we must have a government of transparency. Is this going to add some weight to this call for asset declaration? Yes, I know we've been talking about it on this platform. Yes, the LECC have been raising concerns about it. Are we about to see a shift?
Nothing. Because my brother Raymond, it's scary the way you even talking about rodeo iron fist. This whole thing, the government is not our coach Pumping that put a beginning together. Say, let me coach a 4th division team. Say, oh, I kind of practice the children. I kind of practice. Say, oh, that beginning, man. Let me try to convince them so that I can see the importance of coming to practice because it make you better for game. That coach Pumping thing. When kind of government, you have the lives of 5.2 million people in your hand. So these are not children. These are not children that he appointed. That he should sit down and cuddle them and be petting them. Please declare your asset. Please declare your asset. No. We've seen in the past people that did not have part to pay in turn to millionaires overnight. Then you talk about people should convince and show. That is not leadership. That is not leadership at all. If that's the type of leadership that you work for Liberia, I don't want no part of that country. If that's the type of leadership we want. Absolutely not. These are grown people that went to government knowing that that's why they will get rich when there's no other chance in the private sector. So they say, let's go get rich in the government. They say declare your asset. NCC has come to you before. They're coming back. And I know before they even publish some things, they're still talking to people behind the scene. And President Parker just saying out there, then you come to cabinet media and say, oh, they're making his shit. Is that how you talk to your subordinate? Nobody say disrespect your subordinate. I've started leadership role before, from supervisor to director position. I know what it takes. I'm not a president or whatever, but I know what it takes. As a leader, you have to be decisive, and you also have to, yes, you have to give people the reason to want to do something. As a leader, that's what you do. And he did that already by declaring his asset and letting them know we want our government to be corruption free. And this is one of the ways that we can set the foundation for that. Let all of us declare our asset so that everybody know what we have. And when we leave, people accused of us of stealing something, they can look at our asset declaration. But you can't sit down there, nobody declaring the asset. And you all this time, and there's rumor around that, oh, I mean, Moda paid years of debt in 9 months. Debt that he didn't pay all those years. He can't go and pay in 9 months. Other people signed to build houses and stuff like that. I know that government, the Liberian government, especially in that position, you have enough money to start building houses once you get into office in Liberia. Because they're paying all of them a lot of money. But at least let the people know what you keep me with. But you can't have the president running around saying, oh, and you're making me see. No, that's the easier decision. Tell them, I give you 30 days. You don't do it.
So, but phrase is, now the president is doing it.
Nothing, he's not doing it.
And that's why the president reinforced this call for asset declaration.
Then he'll reinforce it again and 6 months down the line when maybe only 200 people from the 800 plus people that left over.
And so, Francis, what's your analysis on this whole asset declaration with respect to considering the way the government is, proceeding with it, the way the president has handled it, and everything? I mean, what's your analysis on this asset declaration?
He's not handling it well at all. He's showing lack of leadership. And everybody said, they find everybody who they'll bring. So are we saying that they recycle politicians from money bottle time and the only people who get in Liberia to run the country? So you can tell 10 cabinet ministers find new job after brush up your resume after 30 days. If I don't see your asset, if don't tell me you have declared your asset, find new job. He's not able to tell the people that. So that why they're now educating people in Liberia for. So if you bring money, bottle them back and to come and be a government official, every administration kind of bring see or recycle failed politicians. And why you think they keep doing the same old thing? Because that's what they are used to. But bring younger folks. Look at more Ali declare asset. You can say what you want to say about it. But look at most of the young folks. They are doing it. Don't sit there and say, oh, the problem can rule iron fist. Nobody has to rule iron fist. But be a leader. Tell people, put your foot down. And that's how you tell the people will trust your words. When you say something, if you get a directive, the next time say, okay, I want a table to move from here to that office. Before you even say move from here to that office, they'll already be in the office. Or they'll ask you how high you want to lift the table. But now, nobody taking seriously. If you give any mandate, they say, man, we're doing what we feel like doing it. They probably what he can do. That's pretty much it. He's showing lack of leadership and nothing doesn't start firing people.
I want to hold you there, and let's transition a bit, to this issue.
Before we transition, can I make a statement, please?
Okay, go ahead, Raymond.
Why the issue of asset declaration only has to do with the executive? My brother has spoken lengthily, and all his emphasis is on the executive. And I don't know whether he have analyzed the numbers and what the numbers are telling him. Across the 3 branches of government, the issue of asset declaration is a thing. The president don't have power over the judiciary to make them declare their asset. He doesn't have power over the legislature. There are 2 separate branches of the government. There are 2 different powers of the government. So even if we have the executive declaring their asset 100%, there's still an issue of asset declaration in these 2 places. And for me, I'm using number to make decisions where you take you from the numbers that you got. Across all 3 branches of government, only 19.8%, according to the numbers Nelson gave us. Because I haven't gone to LCC page to put out any numbers. So I'm relying 100% on Nelson's numbers.
And the number provided was from the LCC.
No, I'm only using reference to where I got my numbers, so nobody can hold me liable for it.
Okay. No, I'm also making reference to where I got my number from. So
because I go to read the numbers. So what I'm trying to say, and I'm not trying. I would want access declaration. No, for instance, I got nobody in government. I got friends, but I ain't got no personal friend to say when my birthday comes, they're the first to call me. They invite me to all their parties.
Raymond, I'm not attacking you personally.
Well, I'm just saying, not just you alone, friends. I'm talking to the audience too. But for me, the change that we
want. Let's allow Raymond to land, Francis.
So my point here, Francis, is the change we want. Francis, I want it from a workable perspective. Yeah, it's easy to say fire them. But when you fire them, you bring them. Imagine people from the judiciary having declared their asset. People from the legislature having declared their asset. People from the executive, that tells you there's a problem with Liberians declaring their asset. You can use that sample and you can put it any other place in society, it will work. Because there are 3 different branches of government, people from 3 different walks of life, even though they are government officials. And the number looks the same. That tells you that's a behavior or a response to a problem that exists that needs to be solved. That's where I come from.
But Raymond, you ask a question, you answer the question yourself. Oh, why I'm only going after the executive? We are talking about the president here. He's the head of the executive. He's not the head of the legislature and the judiciary. So yes, but he should lead by example. Let the president hold the executive accountable, and then he can tell the LCC or whatever entity to go after the legislature and the judiciary. But he's the head of the executive, and he's the one speaking, telling people want to make him shame and stuff like that. So we have to go after him to show leadership. The LCC to whoever need to be empowered to go after the judiciary and the legislature, they should go after them and investigate them and whatever they can do to hold them accountable to the code of conduct. That's what they should do. But we can sit there and say, oh, because the judiciary and legislature different from the executive, so we shouldn't come after the president. No, I'm coming after him for the executive. LCC can, or whoever can do whatever they want to do with the judiciary, but when they see the president put a foot down, it will there'll be a ripple effect across the other 2 branches of government.
Okay, so Francis, let me hold you guys there, and then I think we can quickly transition. And I want to start this conversation by putting this up. Maybe we can read through it. This is the resignation letter today from Minister Moda, His Excellency President Boakai, President of the Republic of Liberia. Dear President Boakai, over the last few days, there has been public outcry over the purchase of a vehicle for over 45,000. Though I have provided all documentations and facts that equivocally demonstrate that there was no malfeasance, I am deeply concerned, and I'm taking my time to read this letter. I am deeply concerned about the impact on my integrity and the administration. This continues to be a distraction from the real national issues on your agenda. I therefore wish to tender my resignation as Minister of Commerce and Industry, a position I ably served with integrity and passion for the past 9 months. My family and I remain thankful to you for the opportunity to serve our people. I wish you and the administration the best as we look forward for a better Liberia. And there you have Mr. Modad. He signed it. You see his signature there. And this is where we are. Liberians woke up to this, and this was a breaking news. Because, like he stated in the communication, there has been a public outcry with respect to this. The resignation today. I want us to go into the conversation now. Anthony Gale, welcome to the show. And let's start this conversation with you, Francis, and then we're going to go to Raymond, and then Anthony will be next.
Yeah, nothing you see. Like Lynn about just took out my mind, say let us show no remorse. That man, that was our leader in Liberia. The people have when you take position, you go somewhere to a hypnotist, to hypnotize you, to believe that you have to enjoy while the masses suffer. As current minister, what did he do to better the lives of Liberians? But he want to sit in a cushy car. What the money it took to buy that car? Why the car you were driving for the buy that car was still good, but the money it took to buy that car could pay police people, or it could buy medical equipment, or it could buy armchairs for schools for students to not be sitting on the ground. I could pay leaking roof. It could do so many things for different groups of people in Liberia. We don't even talk a lot about the disabled people in Liberia. But he convinced himself that he deserved such a luxury. That's why he wrote in a letter. And he said, oh, over 45,000. So he made over $45,001. $45,001. That's why they make it, the Liberian people making noise for. But I don't blame him. I don't blame him for that. I blame the president that allowed him to resign instead of firing him. But then now, he's about to go with his riches. Then now, LRA boss still sitting down there. You think the president is going to go after LRA boss for the decision he took to spend such an amount? Who in government don't know that he's not supposed to spend what $45,000 on car? Who don't know that? But they did it anyway. So I mean, with that out of the picture now, let's see what President Parker will do. Maybe that whole thing now direct there now. See, I mean, with that going.
What do you think should happen following this resignation?
Me, I think I've been saying it before, but people say it's too drastic, this and all. The president he has the loudest microphone in the country. The president should let everybody know. I'm cutting your gas slip. I'm not giving no more gas slip. we're not buying car 3 years from now. Your salary will take care of you. If you can't work it, open a position for other people to apply for it in the 3 billion government. Do not sign the budget. If people say, oh, the people somebody, the people enjoy now. Anytime they sign the budget, the people can enjoy, or that the BB government official can enjoy. So don't sign it. Then go to the Liberal people and come with evidence.
If the president refuses to sign the budget, are we considering what's going to happen to the government?
Yes.
Can we run the country without the budget?
Nelson, right now we have a budget. Then a recap, I know 20 million times to party up for themselves. What happened to the rest price? What happened to the gasoline price? Where the roads? Where the healthcare? Where the education? That other people still suffering. And who enjoying? The fat cats. That's it on the $96,000 car. So let me just do the math. Say, okay, the $45,000 that we're not spending on nobody car for 3 years, this is what we're putting in. The $3,000 gas slip that we're not giving to none of the people in government, that money will go. Let the Liberian poor then see it. But he collects people from the Liberian poor too. So he ain't got no ground to kind of tell it.
Thank you very much. Francis, let me hold you there. Raymond, you want to take your 1 minute 30 seconds and then we're gonna move to Anthony.
Yeah, so it sounds like, especially the issue about the government should stand still on the budget issue, sounds like, oh, you're hungry. But because you're hungry, commit suicide, die. Because you're already hungry, you're suffering. So what the need for having hope and fight to be better? The government responsibility is to provide services to the people. When government stop doing that, government is not working in the interest of the people. And government services work across the hospital that you're not calculating. If they don't have government budget, you know what will happen to the hospitals? And who is going to be on that? The decision. We do not elect leaders to make hasty decision without knowing the consequences or not being measured and just being radical for radical's sake. The issue about Amamoda, I hope this serves as a wake-up call to all appointed and elected government officials that the Liberian people are looking at what you're doing. And what I believe Amamoda did, if the story should be taken as face value that we know it. But I know there's always multiple sides or two sides to a story. But we've heard one side, and that is from the accuser. And we heard the storyline change a little bit about the value of the vehicle to now. And right now, I have not seen the bill of sales or receipts for the vehicle or anything. So I do not know how much Amamoda paid for the vehicle. But let's agree that the vehicle is above the threshold set. That is mismanagement and not corruption. Because the vehicle purchase was bought for a government entity. It wasn't bought in the name of Amamoda. And let me say this to every Liberian following this story. Sometimes we become so hyper. And I understand where we come from. We're being hurt by corruption so bad that we're looking for the role until when we see someone who lost his way in the community, we beat them to death. Why even asking them, who are you? And that has happened multiple times in Liberia. Someone can visit their girlfriend and they're trying to find a road and they're passing through the community. They finish losing their way. Community members say, row. Before you know, they finish beating them. Somebody dead out of one flimsy allegation. And let's be cautious how we assassinate characters based on supposed corruption. I got to know Amamoda when we were all staying in high school. I know his family that well. And let me tell you my impression when I met Amamoda. There was a measured fellow. But some of us still passing around playing basketball on parts of various communities in Monrovia. Amamoda from school, he's an artist. He paints. Amamoda will have his bowl, discipline sitting there painting. I know his siblings. A lot of them were like me, running around, trying to know people, moving around in places, talking to girls around the place. Amamoda was a guy who stayed home and helped his mom. And this guy, our government, made himself a millionaire. That's the individual we're talking about. So we know his opulence lifestyle may have caused him in trouble. Because that's his taste. And he thinks his official car should be worth that. But what did he do? He used the money to purchase a vehicle for government. That's not his personal car. So in no way should it be called corruption. Let label it as it is, mismanagement.
Okay, Raymond, what is corruption?
Corruption is when you take what doesn't belong to you and use it in your personal interest.
What is the threshold for government officials
and that's why I call it mismanagement. If that's because
no, Raymond. If the ceiling for these vehicles for government purchasing these cars is 45,000, anything above the 45,000 now belong to you. It doesn't belong to procuring vehicle.
When you use it doesn't.
Maybe that's where the folks who are making this argument are coming from.
And Nelson, for me,
Raymond, you're supposed to take as a panelist on the show. You're supposed to take 5 minutes to talk for the entire show. You went and took 15 minutes. Why your other friend is saying that? And the entire show is 20 minutes. I'm supposed to talk for 5 minutes. You talk for 5 minutes. Francis talk for 5 minutes. And Anthony speaks for 5 minutes. But you alone talk 15 minutes. And then at the end of the day, we call up with time. I'm unable to speak. Francis is unable to speak. And we left with just one person to speak. That's a form of corruption.
So sometimes we want to take the biggest crime and put it on people's head. But then when we go to court, after we put a crime on them, when the investigation found out, the crime we put on them or we charge them for doesn't amount to their action. And that's the same thing we're doing in the court of public opinion against Ahmed Modal. I call it mismanagement based on the terms you just said. The seating for purchasing vehicle for public official, excluding the president, the vice president, the speaker, and those high officials in government, is 45,000 as a seating. And he exceeded 45,000 according to his own stuff, right? So what I'm calling is mismanagement because he used it for government affairs, not his personal affairs. And he was managing it. So he mismanaged government resources. But that does not amount to corruption. And we're talking about double jala. Somebody call. Can you tell me double jala crime? Sometimes we saw Abu about making people demons until we fought against them that does not exist. Sometimes can we be human enough and allow the investigation to unfold, let the fights come to us, and then we can analyze the fights? But when we put the cart before the house, we heard double dollar response that the Commerce Ministry requested money to buy vehicles. The LRA in no way provided the specs for the vehicle. Crimes aren't transferable. This is government. They have the guy interministerial working. Is it outside the confines of government interworking first? Have we derived that? Do we know that for a fact? Or we don't want to see people burn, people character assassinated? What pleasure does it bring us? When we find real corruption, let's find real corruption. But we should not be like those in the community who are looking for the rogue so much until they find a stranger in the community who've lost his way and beat him to death because they're looking for rogues. And I think sometimes I have a son.
Thanks a lot, Raymond. I want to hold you there. Francis, you will take 30 seconds, but let's take Anthony. Anthony is here to speak.
Let me use the Francis so you can't forget your train of thought. Francis,
I'm sorry. 30 seconds. Raymond, that is corruption. You say it's not for his personal. It was for his personal use. He was the Minister of Commerce. So
that's not what for personal use. If you use that as a personal use, then you don't know the definition of personal use.
Listen to you.
You don't know the definition of personal use.
Raymond, you are interrupting.
Listen to you speak.
Raymond, you are interrupting.
So please, give me that same courtesy. Who was going to use that car? Who was benefiting from the use of the usage of that car? Ahmed Modal. So he was the one going to use that car. And knowing what's going on in Liberia, when you leave after 3 years to buy a new car for people, who was going to take that brand new car again when he leave? Come on, man. Think about the system. Stop trying to fake things around here. You can't fool nobody. That car was for the benefit of Amin Modab, even though it was not purchased as his private car for the ministry, but it was for the Minister of Commerce, who after 3 years was going to buy that car for probably $2 and walk away with it. And you say that's not corruption because it's for the Ministry of Commerce? Who else is going to be driving that car? The people that are going to collect taxes or something around the country? No. Only Amin Modab will be sitting in that car, his children, his family. So that's corruption.
Okay. Let's hold you there. Thank you, Francis. Anthony, you want to come in? Let's hear you.
I love my dear brother Raymond when you come on national radio to do these kind of things, try to justify, put a spin what spin does not belong on issues. If this was different person on the other side, Raymond were going to be by the rule of law, the ethical principle, and blah, 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 blah. Look, Raymond, let me refresh your brain a little bit. Remember Senator-elect Brandon Samunga? One of the astute Liberians who graduated from West Point, who helped build the current AFL today. You know the reason why he did not take a seat? The same, using things that don't belong to you for you didn't take AFL money to put in your pocket. But again, in leadership, the thing what you call mismanagement is a civilized way of corruption, okay? That's a corruptible act. When you mismanage government funds, that vehicle, the make and model of that vehicle, the base model of that particular design is $75,000. That means it does not have all of the bell and whistles in it. The one he has is a fully loaded vehicle of that model. It's in the 85,000 and above, the 90,000. That car now, $45,000 car. You find that car in the American motorcade convoy, that particular car. It's not, he can afford it on his own as a businessman. But we never saw him driving car like that for himself. We're not saying brogo. We respect him. He's a serious businessman. But he never bought something like that for himself. You see Cummings be driving a G-Wagon around, enjoying. Nobody can question Cummings. Hard and money. Over $300,000 vehicle, he be driving around. Right?
Yeah, we know Mr. Cummings is a political leader, and but you didn't contribute towards the numbers. The numbers dropped from 7% to 1%. From 7% to 1%. But you don't want to talk about that aspect. But anyway, go ahead.
Government money to tell the people to buy that kind of car. He's supposed to have known better. And you talk about, he served, with integrity and all of that different thing. Thank you, Francis. I remember that leadership did not, change the living condition of Liberians. Let's just be honest here. He did not create a scenario that brought relief to the Liberian people in 9 months or almost 9 months. For me, I don't just want a resignation. For me, it's not enough. An investigation needs to be conducted. If he found guilty, he should be prosecuted. Then I know this administration is serious. Just resignation does not cut it for me. Because he did not resign because he so chose to resign. Circumstances compel him to resign. You understand? The circumstances compel him to resign. This is not something that he woke up on someone, yeah, man, I really enjoyed the 9 months I spent. It's about time I hang this thing up. No. When he signed up for 6 years. He didn't sign up for 9 months. But that 6 year got caught up short because of the circumstances surrounding his leadership. And for me, I'm sick or tired using the word investigation, but they need to look into it. If he found guilty, he needs to be prosecuted. Then we know this administration is serious. Because we already had 900+ people in the cabinet right now who are not declared as assets. It's a complete violation. It's a crime that they committed. But Raymond will say that again and run around the circle and say, oh, they need tutorial, they need help here and there. They're committing crime, they're breaking constitutional mandate, but you will sit here and say, oh, they need help. That's how you come and misinform the public, confuse other people who does not understand how government works, and you claim that you work in government. That people like you need not to be on radio confusing people because you know the truth. You chose not to speak the truth, and you want to come here and confuse other people. The truth is the truth, Raymond. There is no alternative fact here. The truth is the truth. Whether you know Amin Modao, you don't know Amin Modao, that's besides the point. Your friendship, that's besides the point. The truth of the matter here, he was forced to resign. And his resignation alone does not cut it. He needs to be investigated. If he's culpable, he must be prosecuted. Then we know we're heading somewhere as Liberians. Are you back my time?
Thank you. Vasco, welcome to the show. I want you to just wait in your thoughts here, Vasco, and then we transition.
All right, Nelson, thank you. And let me say hi to you guys and hi to our listeners. So, Nelson, first of all, let's look at the process or the procedure in which this Amin Modal and Double Jala did the transaction. Because I know very well that we have a agency like the GSA, right? That place is responsible to get vehicles, right? For government or government official. But when you look at this whole case, I don't think Double Jala and Amin Modal went through that process to obtain that vehicle. So the both of them, they are into this thing. The both of them stole from the Liberian people. Because a Meta is not the one that can buy a car for government official. So a Meta have certain amount of money that's going to be put in government cover at the RRA, the revenue authority there. Double Jala had no right to take money from over there to give it to Amin Modal to buy a car. So this is a long story. Those two people stole from the Liberian people. So that is not even the amount of money they use. So I know there was a huge sum of money that the two guys stole from the Liberian people. Amin Modal not go use now the sum of thousand and Double Jala saying now what they didn't get some. Double Jala not just go look at the sum of thousand and check. Knowing they made people say so integrity icon. We've been hearing a whole lot of good things about him. But to just go and he knew very well, don't tell me that they don't know the procedure in which people obtain vehicle. So that alone, the process alone is a corrupt process. So the two guys, they are corrupt. So definitely, Amin Modal resigning today. I mean, it shouldn't be the end. They need to go and face in the law so we can know that Baka is actually serious to fuck corruption. Because this is actual stealing. And my brother says, sitting here, he said, not corruption. So I don't know only corruption, how he look at it to be. Yeah. Nobody asked Raymond to can't tell what the Amin Modal can paint. We won't know what Amin Modal can do. We're discussing the stealing Amin Modal did. He had Double Jala. So most of these people, you know, the government just sit online. The car issue, most of the government officials lead into it. I don't know what kind of government here they came to power. Everybody just focus on car. The president and the vice president $1.some million car. Getting to get contract to people, he follow behind the people and to get kickback to buy a car. And they know the procedures. So the president get so many people to fire from the government. I mean, when that coming, hey, look at the letters that the man wrote. They may not even tell you, they may say maybe because of the public pressure and because of his character. He just feel that people tarnishing his character, people lying on him. So based on that, you don't want to work in the government, when you say that. And the president up to today, he said, anything here, even the president haven't even received that letter. I don't know whether you're listening to Kula Fufana today. Kula Fufana said, yeah, they're hearing that Amin Modal resigned, but the president haven't received any letter from Amin Modal yet. So Amin Modal resignation is something like just hinky. Tomorrow, Baka can work and say, Modal, I'm not accepting the letter. Go back to work. So for someone who know, maybe they're just trying to ease the tension, and they're just trying to ease the tension that so people can calm down a little bit. After some time, Parker will say, the president will say, I don't accept that or letter. I mean, you can go back to work. So until the president can accept it, and we see on the executive marshal website that he accepted the resignation of Amin Muda. I mean, as far as we're concerned, Amin Muda still hanging in there. Thank you, Nelson.
Thank you, Vasco. Remo, you wanted to make a point?
Yeah, Anthony, having an opinion doesn't mean you're right. And voicing out your opinion with a lack of the fights and with all the limitation and calling a person's name doesn't make you right. Everything you just said tonight, no iota of truth, no basics on anything that is fight. Your opinion, what you feel. But you're entitled to your opinion, you're a Liberian, you can speak. But to call me out and say I should not be on the show, it just speaks how you know little or nothing about all you just said. What did I say that was wrong about mismanagement and corruption? Do you know the difference? Have you compared and contract the two? Speak to those kind of things, then you show strength. But you just come out and say, oh, Remo, you should not be on the show. What the fight? What your basis of your arguments? I don't argue because I just few things. I told you, if all of the information are given as it is against him, one thing we knew from the fights on Amudo Moda, the vehicle cost started changing. So do we know the fights? Do we know how much money he spent? You came to give basis of the car, vehicle, and everything, and you say the car he got. Bro, how do you know the specification of the car that he has? How do you derive that? Now, not falsehood
Thank you.
or the assumption you're making. Who should
Thank
be
you
on the
very
show
much.
and who shouldn't?
Thanks a lot.
Just in 30 seconds, please. Let me respond to the car. When a vehicle, like for instance, I'll take a Toyota 4Runner. There's a Toyota 4Runner limited version. There's a SRS version. There's a base model. I don't have to see the bill of sale to know the difference on that vehicle. Maybe you don't know about cars. I know about cars. I know
Bro, I bought brand new cars several
21
times. I
model
don't
of
know
Toyota.
how many times you bought a brand new car.
All right. No. I'm
You
just
telling me I don't know about cars?
I know the 21
Remo
model
gave
of
French
Toyota.
chance.
No, he telling me I don't know about cars. How many times you bought a brand new car?
Remo gave French chance.
All right. I just told you now. So don't come here and tell me, say, oh, how do I know this one's a base model, this one's a fully loaded? The vehicle is right in front of you. You can see it.
I asked you, how do you know that Moda car is the fully loaded car? And for your information,
because the model is on the car.
Hold on now, bro.
It's on the car.
The model on the car? Provide a model for me. And the information that you
your
said
homework.
is the fully model. Bro, I'm talking about
Let's go
homework.
to the
You providing information and I'm challenging the information on the show. For your information, I bought brand new car in Liberia.
Yeah,
So
no, guys.
Models?
When I'm on this show, I told you the last time, when I'm on this show, I will always put a hole in your argument because some of us, we're not just any other people that can come here that you can get sitting and walk free. All right? Every vehicle
it's you that I'm holding your information liable. You said maybe I don't know about cars for your information while I was in Liberia.
First of all,
give me chance
wait a
now, let
minute,
me
you
talk.
just made a blanket statement.
Okay, guys.
Stop interrupting. You spoke and
What
listen,
blanket statement I made?
We have to go to the
I
phone
asked Nelson to
lines.
make my point.
We will
For your
have to go to the
speculation,
phone
you
lines.
say Moda car is a fully loaded.
So okay, let's do this, guys. I had to mute the both of you because we need to go to the phone lines.
But Nelson, it's not fair. I asked you for time to speak and remain interrupting me.
Anthony, I'm coming, Anthony. The folks come on here, they spend sleepless nights because they want to listen to the different analysis we have to make on these issues because they want to go with something. And the back and forth and all of those things, it doesn't add up to anything that the folks really take away. So yes, let's for the sake of our audience, let's do this in a very cordial way. Anthony has the floor, Anthony has remaining 20 seconds. Anthony, please exhaust that. Then we'll go to the phone lines.
In all fairness, Nelson, with my 20 seconds, Raymond has the audacity to interrupt people. When other people interrupt him, he make a big deal out of it. But he doesn't see that he interrupt people all the time. I specifically asked you for a time to make the clarity here. He mentioned my name in his deliberation, and I wanted to make a clarity specifically on the vehicle. And he just started interrupting. So the fact of the matter, if we will come here and want to accuse me, Raymond, this thing is not about you and I, bro. You're in a different line of field. I'm in a different line of field. So you and I don't have it there. But what we have here is that when we come on the show, we ought to be truthful. We ought to also respect the rule of law, because no one is above the rule of law. If you try to bend the rule here and try to, put a sway or put a spin on the Constitution, we will hold you accountable. That's all we're going to do. We will hold you accountable to the rule of law, to the workings of government. Other than that, you work in government. I did not work in government. That does not mean I don't understand the Constitution of Liberia or I don't know my basic civics.
Thank you. Thank you. So let's go to the phone lines. Let's take some calls. Let's hear from our folks. 0555-101075, 0555-101075. Let me put the WhatsApp up as well so that the folks can call in case they want to make an input. Let's take Oben Burr on the line, and then we'll go to our local line. Hello, welcome, sir. You live on the show.
How you doing, Nelson?
Yes, sir. We're okay.
Thank you very much. I know Vasco, Anthony, now why you came from 7 point to 1 point. And Vasco, you were there when President Weah was using the same money, taking money from this way, buying that today you know GSA. Vasco, that today you know GSA. Vasco, when some of those people talking, I just want you sometimes to just sit down quietly and just be yourself without even talking. What Modad did, I don't know why you want the President of the Republic of Liberia to do. When the President go on to take decision, for you to come and say yes in his 9 months in his administration, 3 ministers resign. Three ministers resign. This is a responsible government. When something happens, you take decision. And some leaders, when they are taking decision, they take decision behind the scene. They tell you, you want to be dismissed or you want to be fired. I mean, not dismissed. You want to resign or you want to be fired. Some people will take that opportunity to say, I want to resign myself. What we didn't say behind Samuel 12, few years ago, 19 months ago, Samuel 12 mismanaged the Liberian economy.
10 seconds, sir. Please take 10 seconds.
We fought. We cried on President Weah to take that decision. What happened? Did he? Vasco, you should praise, I don't know you, Mandy, you Kissy, you should praise the owner sometime when you take decision.
Thank you very much.
When we do this thing, I will not praise the owner and we'll face Liberia.
Thanks a lot for your input. 0555-101075. The WhatsApp number is up as well. Let's take this person. Hello, you're live.
Good morning, Nancy.
Yes, sir. Let's hear you.
Good morning to your parents, and I'm Mova from local Cambodia Island.
Okay.
From Mr. Boda, really, women has just said something. I think that's how, and we that voted the government, this is why we are telling, leaders, appointees of the president, you have raised the bar high on the past government. So you need nothing else but to live in the confines of law. It mismanagement, has been something that have come after the leader, in the case of our former, Senator-elect, because I will call him. But when it comes to the asset recovery, there were many that come from. No, I understand Mr. DeLong was the only senator since ever in the before taking this office, he make it public We should have nothing. How many other? I think $25 US.
Thank you.
$25 or 25,000 liberty. Make a plain with one house. It is no need for you to have so much. I mean, for property before you go declare. So
thank you.
Let's make this clear. You know, that will live in the confines of the law because
I want
these
to
are
hold you
things
there.
we was talking about. So we have to live according to what to the nation we preach. We can't be the pastor that say, "Do what I say, do what I do."
Thank you. Let's hold you there. Hello from the WhatsApp line. Let's hear you.
Yeah, this is James calling from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Let's hear you, sir.
Yeah, I believe Ami Model is number one best government official in Liberia.
Okay.
Because he resigned from public outcry. We have other government officials from public outcry, they didn't resign. Example, let's start with Ellen Snow. When they say he naked women to dance for him on a birthday, the journalists then were all over, they were saying that Ellen Snow didn't resign. And up to now, he's senator. He migrated from this one to this one. When we say this person was beating people, representatives, senators, they were beating people, none of them ever resigned. They end up extending to another position, another level. And the Liberia government create them for that and give them power for that. So I believe Moda is the best Liberian. Look at Prince Johnson. The 250,000 people that died, you were part of it. Zoe Penner, you were part of it. Majority of them, they were part of it, but they still get position in government. But this man resigned for $90,000. Where Eugene Nangbe, Maritime Commissioner, you were on your same spoon, bluffing that the commissioners know where they kind of car. I mean, ride they kind of car, $90,000 car. Nobody talk, nobody protest, nobody demonstrate. But CDC were protesting because Moda got it. And Moda bought a car for government enough for your own personal use. That's why the guy was saying, buying car for government for now your personal use is not corruption and mismanagement of funds. And for Jala is misappropriation of funds. He misappropriated the fund that he wouldn't have.
Thank you. Let's take another call from WhatsApp, then we'll go to the local lines. Hello. Hello.
Hey, hello.
Yes, sir. It's good to have you on. Let's hear you.
Yes, sir. Hey, Nursing, thanks again for the show, and thanks to your panelists. Look, I kind of followed the show tonight. It's been a while. Nursing, we are far, far away. We have long way to go as a country. The fact that mismanaged, he stole and resources from government, and then the government did not take action against him. He resigned willfully, and then we clap that this is something good. In our arrest agenda, there is something called rule of law, and I'm yet to see the rule of law in place. That's the reason why the impunity in Liberia continues. It's because they have not been punished. You need to be aggressive on these guys. People need to go to jail. As long as people not going to jail, they have not been arrested, prosecuted, and go to jail for what they do, and then pay back what they stole. This behavior will continue in Liberia. Trust me. And we got to pray to God. We are going the wrong direction. Look, I'm a big advocate of Joseph Walker. I'm telling you, but we have yet to put our hearts together. That guy should have been, turned over to the Justice Department, investigator, and if he found guilty, pay everything back, and if I'll go to jail. Or he walking away, and you clap your hands, and then tomorrow they're going to hire him somewhere again. This is wrong.
Thank you.
This is rule of law, and nothing we're seeing here. People not being punished. The culture of impunity continues in Liberia. This is wrong. We're going nowhere.
Thank you.
It's mind-boggling to hear people say something like that.
Let's hold you there, sir. Thank you. Thanks a whole lot for your input. Let's take two more calls from the local line, and we'll start with this person. Hello?
Yeah, Nancy, this is I'm calling for Lakasi.
Go ahead, sir. Let's hear you.
Yeah, my brother, I don't know what Vasco is saying over there. They have this kind of situation in their left government. It did not, one person did not there was so many accusations of
The
who
phone,
were
the
working in
the,
the
the, the
government.
phone. You sounding? Can you shake off
No,
small? Can you adjust a little bit? You sounding like the
okay.
phone
I
is,
said
yeah. Be audible a bit, sir.
Vasco is a black loyalist. During the administration of the CDC, those kinds of allegations came so many times. Nobody resigned because of allegation. They could call this allegation. Nobody ever resigned on that region until the time finished. Nobody resigned of church. And so many of that. Today, and let me tell you something. Last night, Amin Moda went to Ambassador Bakai's house. And Ambassador Bakai denied obtain Amin Moda. And people are saying that Amin Moda resignation, President Bakai never took that. That's a false allegation. Ambassador Bakai, once you have done short act, though is alleged until investigation,
Thank you.
so that things happen. This, beg you, it's an international network. Don't allow Vasco to just sit down and be President Bakai. Let us have respect, man. Because they have said the same new job where to be their president. Let them have that voice and speak to
Thank
the
you very
president.
much, sir.
You don't have to be President Bakai, but just say president. But I will not accept you on the international network to be calling the president Bakai. Please. Thank you so much for your time.
Let's go you there and take another person. Hello?
Hello, Nelson.
Yeah, hello, you're live. Let's hear you, man.
For a long time, I don't call. My Annie from New Jersey, District 13.
Okay, man, Annie, please go ahead.
Yeah, Nelson, we bathe with dirty water to run campaign for this government. The government is making our effort, feeding. We the Gorbachev people. See the kind of money the people taking. Rafa Jara and Freeport manager. Dugle. What our people want for us to do? No loan for we the business people. We just standing around our better boy getting ratty. All our market getting ratty. No money circulating us, sir. Then Ambassador Bwaka is not taking no action. They want for we the business people to get on the street and ask you what we voted him for. Mr. President, please listen to the strategy. One of your strong moving sir. Please try to put money or salary circulate for the business people.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I mean, Model should go to court. Yeah, Dova Jara still got the money in their possession. You got no trust in JFK, no trust in retention. The education sector is poor.
I want to hold you there and take the final person. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, please go ahead quickly.
I'm S. Because Smith. I call from district number 6.
Yeah, go ahead quickly.
And actually, what I mean, what I did was corruption, and we shouldn't be painting it as mismanagement of funds. But I mean, Moda need to be punished exactly for what he did. He even lied in declaring assets that he had a vote. So we talk to presidents to be able to carry Amin Bonda through a rightful investigation, and all who involved into it should be punished.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Folks, we appreciate everyone for your contribution tonight. I see the calls are still coming in from different angles, but we have to go. Emmy, welcome to the show. It's good to have you on tonight. I think we can go around the table and do our closing. Beginning with you, Vasco, and then we will take Francis will be next, Anthony, and then Raymond. Emmy will take us home.
Yeah, thank you, Nelson. Look, to the lady that called, Annie, thank you so much. And that is the issue that the people face in the country. And for some of us, we came here during the campaign, we said it, that the United Party, under the stewardship of President Bwaka, these people will perform very poorly, and there will be a disaster for our country. And I see some people saying, "Oh, you know what I mean? Just 9 months, and you boasting a 3% resign. Do you know the reason why the 3% resign? Okay, I don't know much about the defense. How you call him? The Ministry of National Defense, or Daniel. How you call him, or the guy now who they appointed as the
Prince C. Johnson.
Prince T. Johnson rather. Yeah, he resigned based on some pressure. But the two person, the finance minister that resigned, he resigned because of corruption.
Is there any report on that? Is there any publication on that?
We know the man stole some money, Nelson.
No. Vasco. Is there any publication indicating that the finance minister resigned because of corruption? Do you know of any publication? Because I don't know of any. That's why I'm asking.
The finance minister used forms. He did things.
Which forms?
But you know that the people had a hearing for this man. That man went and used money, gave ministers money. Today, that $22 million that were given to
who conducted the hearing? Oh, you mean the
legislators? The $22 million.
Okay, Vasco, let your pass. Vasco,
wait now. The $22 million given to Giddings.
That if the $22 million was given to the Ministry of Public Works, it doesn't amount to the former finance minister stealing money. When you say he took money, it means that
if you don't follow the law of the country, the law that govern people, if you don't follow that law, the finance minister cannot just take money and give it out. You know that. So if you don't follow the law and you do things on your own, that is corruption.
Okay, Vasco.
You see the man stole the money.
But with corruption, you stole money.
Yeah, so Vasco, take 30 seconds to just conclude, so we move to Francis.
You understand? So we got more people today getting some of this and order. Getting admitted, you play the video here. Getting admitted that he awarded contracts to people and he followed the people to get kickbacks. The people getting pick up, almost 4 pick up. That's the reason why today you see our people suffering, because they never did anything on the road. If you give me a contract and you come to me and take some of the money from me and go back pick up, you think I will complete the job? That was today the post suffering, because the companies that were supposed to be working on the road, that when they did part of the work and they want to sit down. You can't hold them responsible. Getting the afraid to even talk to these people. Because if you talk to the people would say, look, you award a contract or you came back to or you take money. The man better, hey, you get a video right there. So
I don't have the video.
No, but the video right there, the man made that the general asked him many questions. He said yes.
He said yes to what?
You next see the video there, you cover the issue. You cover that Jacob or stop at the information ministry.
Pastor, you have to stop forcing these things on me tonight.
My spoon was there. Spoon was there.
Okay. Thank you, Pastor.
We in serious trouble. These people will steal, and that's the reason why they're not declaring no asset, because they want to get rich in the shortest possible time. Then you get the president.
Thank you, Vasco.
Let me end like this, please. Let me end like this. Then you have the president today call a cabinet meeting. He appealing. Hey, man. What kind of president in the world you not see appealing to a minister then? People who you get job to, we can fire anytime. You go appeal to them. Say, you're making me sheen. You're so. Look, now see, we're in serious trouble. The country don't have a leader. Liberia don't have a leader.
Thank you, Vasco. Let's hold you there.
Yeah.
Francis, please do your closing, sir.
Then we actually talking born again lying broad daylight, making it on the Cali. And you jack out national platform, they lie. Only man still $22 million. Oh, but yeah, and he took the $22 million, get a popular minister of the bureau. Then he said I'm stealing that. Then you can't say the man admitted to giving contract to people and going to get kickback. That's cool. But anyway, I know. Oh, I'll report a serious note. We know that you're there. Wow, you see, you're doing your part. It's like the player didn't do that part, but the coach, maybe the coach FCC. Because you're doing your part by voting out CDC. Nobody blame you for that, because that's the best decision. But then one who falls short is elected the wrong person. That's the problem. That's what I've come to realize. Because we all here campaign for GMB. For me, I was for anybody, but we are in the second round. The only option was JMB and John. We are. So we elected the wrong person. Maybe the president would have been better 6 years ago, but now we elected probably 6 years too late. But I want to repeat myself. The president can change things. Everybody talking about, people, the country, when the country now, we have a budget. The people still suffering more. The people still suffering. Then the president decided to cut back all the incentives for these illegal criminals and tell the Liberian people, I will put all this money here. I will put it on to education. I'll put it on to healthcare. I'll put all the money that I'm saving from the cuts that we're making. See, the Liberian people will not go to the representative senator and hold them and make sure they agree to that. If they don't like it, they will pack that Satoka. Let somebody else who want to serve the country come in there. Most people don't go there because they want to serve the country. They know that's the only way they can get rich. And in a country where the people can get rich by working in government, that country will continue to be poor. Because government should be small, should be the smallest entity, should be the smallest employer in the country, and support the private sector. And I'll repeat this again. Liberia will never, the accountability will never be strong in Liberia so long the president is allowed to appoint all the city mayors and all the superintendents. That country will never be developed. Because you know what? How many superintendents are not here talking in the country? How many city mayors are not here talking? Nobody. Because what? They work at the will and pleasure of the president. But if you elect your city mayor, let's just say that United Party president, then you got CDC city mayor and you got ANC superintendent. ANC will say, president, the United Party is not giving me money for Monserrado County. Then the CDC city mayor will say that the superintendent for ANC not giving money for Monrovia. So you will see people will start to vote differently. But now all of them will shut up more because if they talk, the president can fire them. But if you elect a city mayor and a superintendent, the president can't do nothing to them. So they'll not be scared of them. They'll only be scared of you, the people that elect them into office. Now, these are the small things that we overlook in that country, and we'll be looking at the BB and scam then on the other side. When they fix that thing, I tell you, you get 100,000 to 17 representatives in Monserrado and 150,000 to 2 senators. That's $2 million right there that can go to the superintendent of Monserrado County to do whatever they please for the county. But if the government has to do all the development around the county, it will never be developed. Because the president doesn't know what the people need in Bapuru. He doesn't know what the people need in Refugee. So we need to focus on these things that look simple, but they are big when it comes to impact on the development of that country. President Baga need to stand up, he need to wake up, and he need to start holding people accountable. This is embarrassing for him to be telling the people that they're making history because they're not declaring that asset. Let him show some leadership. Our people are suffering too much in that country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anthony?
Fellow Liberians, we don't need CDC nor Unity Party. These two political parties in the last 18 years have dragged our nation backwards. Whether you like it or not, the records are there. For 12 years, Unity Party left us hanging. CDC came for 6 years, that's 18 years. We almost go into 19 years of the same mayhem. When President Walker arrived at the airport, did you know what he said? He admired the U.S. Secret Service, how organized, how result-oriented they were, how focused and dedicated they were to their jobs. He got back home, see different circumstances. A police officer is well equipped in this country. There's no, his appearance alone is intimidating, let alone how will you disrespect him. Just the cruiser he drives or he or she drives well equipped. That can only happen if we have patriotic Liberians working in government. Because Liberia is a unitary state wherein the president had too much power. Yes, we had 3 branches of government, but the way our government is structured, the president had too much power. Only one branch of government can chastise the president, which is the first branch of government. But every county senator and city mayor, like Francis said, and superintendent are appointed by the president. The Constitution gave room for those positions to be an elected position. Because Ma Ellen said that the country don't have enough money to have this election. Every other president that comes in now doing their own thing. May he so rest in peace, Dr. Edmund Sawyer, who once ran for the office of the city mayor of Monrovia back then. Those were elected positions. Folks, currently in Liberia, the president can set the tone that our lawmaker will have no choice but to abide by. Our nation needs a leader, not dictatorship, but a leader who will say, you know what? We know what we are. We cannot live off of IMF loan. We will not go anywhere. Let me just be frank with you. We will not go anywhere with IMF loan. Anywhere. We will be stuck in this pay, because IMF loan, think about it, it's a payday loan. You take that loan, by the time your paycheck comes, they take it. You take that loan, by the time your paycheck comes, they take it. That's what Liberia going to be doing. $209 million for 40 months for Liberia. Our nation needs $1 billion, $2 billion, $3 billion national budget to confront the current demands of the 21st century of Liberia. Not $500 million or $600 million. And until our lawmakers and until the national leadership, which is the executive mansion that runs the day-to-day affairs of the nation, can see reason to cut down all these benefits, unnecessary benefits of these lawmakers or the other government officials, and take that cut and position it into agriculture that will create jobs and generate revenue, invest into electricity that will create jobs and generate revenue, invest into healthcare that will create jobs and also generate revenue. We are not going
20
anywhere.
seconds. 20 seconds, sir.
For us to sit here and hope that some kind of manna will come from heaven that will deliver Liberia, we are wasting our time. King Gabi is now running Rwanda because he loved the country so much more than himself. He took some actions that led to the people today voting for him. 98% of the national vote went to him because of the leadership role he showed. He took some measure that were not welcoming from the get-go, but when they start seeing results, the people started supporting him. I don't need a dictatorship in Liberia. They changed the constitution. I don't want us to change constitution for no president, but we need to take a measure to. Why should we pay for people gasoline and getting scratch
Thank
tags?
you.
Why?
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you. Raymond, and then Emmy will take us home.
For me, when we come here, our discussion should be earnest. It should be void of personal sentiments. And it should be in the interests of Liberia. And it should be based on truth and facts. I didn't care about the car Ami Modad bought. But when my brother just came and talked about 3 models of the vehicle, I had to do a fast research. The Chevy Suburban 2024 I'm sorry about the distraction. Has 6 models.
Well, I never said it was 3 model. So I don't know. We'll look at the tape.
And my brother said, from the look of the vehicle, he could tell the specs of the vehicle.
No,
And
I said it's
so
written on the
real.
back of the vehicle, brother. Come on.
And did you see the vehicle?
Anthony
And you
is
saw-
disrupting the guy.
Did you see the
Brother,
vehicle? Did you see
you
the
will
back?
not twist my word. I will play the answer for you. I will tell you.
Anthony, let him
You will not
speak.
twist my word. No, he interrupted me. It's my time to do so.
No, we can't do that, Anthony. Let go back.
Liberians, I'm presenting a case to you that sometimes the information you hear from some of us is based on political sentiments out of the post-election trauma, symptoms of it, or bitterness for failure in the political process. And so when someone has
Are you trying to say the election defeat the 7% to 1% in the case of Anthony is contributing to the stance he has on this issue? Remember, you're trying to inflame this situation.
Can you tell how much the base model costs on that Chevy Suburban? The base model.
Yeah,
that's
Anthony, I know you want to interrupt.
How much does it cost for the base model of the Chevy Suburban?
Time I just want
so Nelson, you see, once people putting a spin,
if the car.
No, Anthony, you will not do that, please. Yeah, let's give Raymond the time.
When people putting a
if the car costs less than 50,000.
When people putting a spin on an argument just to present someone bad, then you know that intent is diabolical. When you don't have the fights, but yet you must provide something damaging, how is that a fight against corruption? How is that uplifting the country? Well, you do not even know the model, the name of the model of the vehicle. The Chevy Suburban 2024, all of the model has names. I asked my brother, do you know the specs? He said behind the vehicle, he could not call the specs. If my brother knew it, he was going to call the specs. But he didn't. So he could not provide.
So Remo, where is this your argument going now?
My argument is, guys, when we come here, Vasco come and say everything untrue. It looks like
is it about the spec of the vehicle or the
point
process
here is
right, or because you knew it for more time, so everything happening now?
No, it's not about that. I've never defended him. I'm only speaking. You know, when things happen, the very first thing, the allegation against this guy is around about $90-something thousand vehicle. But this is a guy that owns property that owns more than $1 million. So what I'm trying to say, I analyze the individual he was. Look, Liberians, let's be true to the discourse. He's not a friend. He's more like an acquaintance. I'm friends with his sister. I'm not friends with him. That was a big brother. I'm friends with a small sister, the big brother. You think that's a welcoming friendship? No, it never happened. He never shaken my hands before. Never did he welcome me. But when I observed him, that's why I'm speaking. And this is a guy who worked in the private sector, earned himself millions of dollars in our country. So when he bought, I'm putting things in perspective. It's easy to demonize people, assassinate their character, and make them boogeymen. But when you see another human being, you treat him like one. I'm looking at a man who built himself up, earned $1 million. I remember that home that he lived in. I'm an architect. It's valued more than $1 million. I can say that for a fact.
Thank you.
All about that. Let me not say.
Guys, we have to go. We are
so what I said he mismanaged the stuff. And I got a couple of things to talk about. If the specification of the vehicle is an issue, if you manufacture information to make somebody a liar or demonic, that's bad. And my brother talk about the GSA is the one that buy vehicles. Bro, but we don't know things. We should not come on the topic to talk. Where you saw VSA buying all government line ministry and everybody vehicles in our country. When they happen, the things you don't know, don't say it. The thing that public media will misinform me. That people come here to say double jabba and Amumoda got it. They heard it from us.
So that Medtech can buy a vehicle for a government official?
The things we don't know, let us not say it. My brother,
ask the man that question.
You haven't read the act that created GSA. You don't know GSA responsibility. Which law that say no government line minister can buy themselves vehicles? It has to be GSA. You don't know that. The things you don't know will come and steal.
Okay. So guys,
our-
just to make progress now, Raymond, provide the information you want to provide so we can move to Emmy because we are seriously out of time.
He giving
No,
all the
I
time.
can stop
all the
right
time.
here. But what I'm just trying to say, the false suit presented by Vasco that GSA has to be the one to buy all government line ministry, agency, and everybody vehicle, including the legislators.
Yeah, but
That's
tell all
not
now
true.
who can buy it. You correct me.
That's not true. What I'm telling you. That's not true. I will stop there.
Who can buy vehicle for the government?
Every ministry can buy their vehicles.
So
they should buy their own vehicle.
Every ministry
Raymond,
can buy their own
I
vehicles.
want to hold you there.
information
Emmy,
about it.
let's give the floor to Emmy to do her closing, her opening, and everything, and then we can do our closing from here.
So that everything be telling you about the engineer, everything allowed.
Vasco,
Raymond, please go ahead.
What you exposing.
Not Raymond,
the
but
things that I have done.
Emmy,
People watching this show, they know me.
Guys,
unlike you, the only thing you've done, I play football.
Let's disregard that. Let's disregard that. No. Emmy, please go ahead.
Vehicle, you see GSA on it.
That means GSA bought it.
We're not doing interruption now, please, guys. Yeah, please. Vasco and Raymond. That wahala you came from your way.
No, Nelson, the thing about it, we use let's have a few seconds, right? A lot of people get misinformed by the information we present on the shows. That's just what I'm trying to talk about. But I'm sorry for
this. Thank you, Raymond.
Yeah, and a lot of times we misinform.
It's misinformation, but you can make correction.
Thank you very much. Emmy, please go ahead.
So yeah, thank you, everyone. So I guess okay. Thank you, Nelson. I know I came to church late, so I'm not gonna have much to say on this. But the only thing I know people are bashing at I mean, with that for they calling it when Bremen said it was a good move, and people calling it corruption and stuff like that. I'm not really going to go into the whole story because I don't know anything about this whole vehicle issue. I've been hearing about it, but I don't know the facts behind it. But I feel like if he did something wrong, yeah, he should get investigated, not just because people said it or people said it on Spoon saying it or Lena show and people just say, oh, yeah, he did it. He should go to jail. No, we need to stop that. Investigation is an allegation, so it's proven, right? It's like people like Vasco come here tonight telling us that the finance minister stole money, which we don't know anything about. That's why he resigned. And people stealing, I mean, all these misbelieve money that CDC got in the bank that they all of a sudden left there and nobody using it for anything, but they just putting it in their pockets, according to Vasco. If we mind sit here and mind Vasco saying something like that, everybody will go to jail. We all know that. And it will be for nothing. So investigations are important, not just to say, oh yeah, I resigned. Then if you did do it, then what happened to what was alleged that you did or that you took? Something has to be done about it. So I think is if people are crying, like people say, it's a good thing that he resigned. If that's what he said, whether he did it or not, that's what I'm saying. The investigation needs to tell. But it was a time that we had a lot of allegations out there. Let me see, maybe a couple of months ago, like 10 or 11 months ago, or 3, 4, 5 years ago, and nothing was done. And then people that actually took upon themselves, or the president forced them to resign. And then you have people saying here and condemning it or saying, oh, this is wrong about it. I don't get it. We never got none of these from the past government. And I know people always like to say, oh, because it's no, not because somebody do it so the other person should do it. But if something is being done, you should give it don't say, okay, maybe we don't want it to stop there, but at least it's a step that he resigned. We never saw that. So why can we give it praise it and give them their flowers? We never saw this. Like people said, Samuel 12, they might get in or whatever. Then we never saw that. Okay, so if it's being done now, yes, we should say something. We should acknowledge what they're doing. And if we think investigation is more something to go, if he really did it, he should get investigated and pay the price or penalty, whatever needs to be, something with that. That's all I gotta say about that.
Well, thank you very much, Emmy. Thanks to you guys. Francis, Raymond, Vasco, Anthony was here. We appreciate all of you. This is how we want
Nelson,
to end up on tonight's edition of the program. The late night show will be back tomorrow. Folks across the world, thanks for following. I'm Nelson Colette. Thanks to the entire team. We appreciate your engagement in the comment section. Helen, Elliot, Anthony Gay from onset. You go in the comment section. Josh Wida, Ikena, Logan, James Davis, Lynn Lackport, DJ Do, Kuya Dukley, and just everyone following tonight. We appreciate you, and we look forward to having another great show tomorrow. Until then, have a good
so
night.
Nelson, just before we go, just to our audience, GSA manage government assets. They do not do purchase. They're not government procurement entity. When government procure their assets, they submit it to GSA to take track of government asset, and GSA does the marking. Just for the information of our people, they do not.
And the PPCC does the procurement for.
No, the PPCC just gave no objection to follow that the procurement is going through government.
Who purchase government?
All government line ministries and agencies purchase their stuff.
Okay, so guys, we're out of time.
PPCC just is a regulator.
Have a good night.
More like
have a good night and